Hi, I'm Angel Rojas with DataCorps Technology Solutions. Today is Thursday, October 14th, 2021, and this is your Threat Landscape Update. Hi, and thanks for joining me. I'm recording from my home studio today, my home office, and I really appreciate you joining me here for the Threat Landscape Update. So today's Thursday, October 14th, and I've got just a few items to chat with you about. The first one is our next statistics that we'll discuss that will help you prevent the data breach. And 85% of social engineering actions that lead to a data breach are done via email. So they start via email. The problem is, we keep repeating these statistics. We keep repeating and beating the email issue to a bloody pulp. But the problem is, it's the same old tactic, right? We're getting hit over and over again via email, and so that's why I want to keep repeating it. I want to help you understand that a lot of times we take the convenience and we don't want to have that delayed gratification and just take a few moments to look at that email carefully, read it carefully, and make sure that it is indeed a legitimate email. So we go for that instant gratification. We click the link, we click the attachment, and the rest is history. So what I want to communicate again, over and over again, is to be on the lookout. Really take your time as you read messages, especially messages that are coming from external folks, and even messages that may appear to come from an internal person. For example, a few weeks ago, some of my team members received emails that appeared to be coming from me. And we have our emails configured that we tag email that comes from the outside, so they were able to see it immediately. However, you still have to take a moment to understand if that email is legitimate or not, read it, evaluate it, and make a good decision. So it really is critical to avoid that initial reaction to click and open that email. And some of them, look, I get it. I understand that the email says, listen, you owe us money, pay us now. And so you click it and you want to say, hey, I don't owe you anything, or who are you? So that's why you want to take that initial emotional reaction and then just taper it off. The scammy emails are getting better. The graphics in them are getting better. They're looking more and more like the legitimate ones every day. So that means that we have to take action internally to train, to make people aware, and to assess whether our people are susceptible or not. And it's very important. I like to say this whenever I talk about assessing folks. This is not a punitive thing, okay? It's important to communicate that we're not trying to punish our employees if they get it wrong. But we do need to understand if there is a problem, if we have a team member that is more susceptible than others, and then take training and really work with that person to make sure that they're not susceptible. And look, I'm no exception. Every week on Thursdays, I take a short video quiz and I do some training in order to, again, keep my own skills up to speed. So I don't exempt myself from this, and I don't think you should either. So the action item is, are you training to spot these messages? Is your team training to spot these messages? Are you having regular discussions about email? Are you sharing the email messages that you get that are scammy? Print them off and let people know about them. Don't forward them, because you don't want people to accidentally click the link unless you forward it to our team so that we can help you evaluate it. But print it off and pass it around the office so that people can see what these emails look like. Maybe take a red pen and highlight the area that was a tip off for you. But when we share these things, when we share these experiences, we harden our company. We build, some cybersecurity folks like to call it a human firewall. We help build that human firewall that will protect our businesses. So another thing we want to talk about this week is multi-factor authentication, or MFA. You will hear me talk about that. Some people call it two-factor authentication, and some people call it the most annoying thing in the world. But yeah, insurance companies are really starting to drill down on this. I was at a cybersecurity event a few weeks ago, and there was an insurance underwriter speaking, and it happened to be an insurance underwriter for my insurance, for DataCorps' insurance company. And he was mentioning that in the underwriting, they are going to add multi-factor authentication. So what's multi-factor authentication? Well, if you have a mobile phone, right? Sometimes we get our passwords. When we enter in our password, we'll get a one-time password in the mobile phone, or we have an app. We use Duo at DataCorps, and with our clients, we use Duo. Sometimes, I actually have this. It's pretty neat. It's called a YubiKey. Okay. And what this does, it's got a little, it's not a little button, but it's more like a contact. And every time I push that contact, when it's plugged in, it will put out a one-time password, a really, really long and complex one-time password that's very unique. So I use both of those methods when I'm authenticating to my desktops, when I'm authenticating to my critical applications, when I'm authenticating to, we have some software that documents your networks, your passwords, and everything. When we get into that, I have to use that. There's no way to get around it. So I encourage you, if you don't have multi-factor authentication, you need to get it. It is one of the standards that's being pushed down with regulatory bodies. So it is coming down. Your business may even be susceptible to it. It may be a regulatory requirement, or it may be a legal requirement. So make sure you check on that. And if you need help implementing it, we're here for you. We've got great experience on a lot of systems getting it implemented, and we're also working on implementing it with some of the network control components that traditionally don't use multi-factor authentication. So our team is working hard to make sure that we can implement multi-factor authentication, so that when that, first off, so that you are protected, but secondly, when you get that questionnaire from PCI compliance, or from your insurance, or even from a client, because we are encouraging people to vet their vendors. And if you're in the supply chain for somebody, your client could hand you a request to document or at least comment on how you protect your systems. I want you to be able to answer that question about multi-factor authentication in an affirmative manner. And it's important to note, again, we're not doing this just because it's required or just because it may be required, but securing our networks and securing our businesses, it really is good business. So I want to encourage you to look into that. That's an action item there. In some exciting news, and I'm pumped about this, one, because I'm, being a geeky tech at heart, I love adding new toys and new things to our infrastructure. But what we've done is we are adding a firewall. We're adding another layer of protection in front of our Exchange server, our hosted Exchange server. So if you're one of our clients who uses our hosted Exchange services, you are going to see, when you log on to Outlook Web Access, a different login screen. And that login screen is going to look a little different than what you traditionally have seen. So you'll see I'm going to put up on the screen the traditional login screen. And then we're going to look at the new login screen. And what I want you to pay attention to on the new login screen is the area where it says this is a public computer versus this is a private computer. If you are logging into your webmail from outside of a trusted network, so if you're at a hotel or anything like that, be sure to choose and leave the default setting as this is a public computer. What that does is it tells the system, don't leave any traces of this session on the computer. Now, the downside to that, and the flip side, is that you'll lose authentication rather quickly. So if you have some inactivity for a few minutes, the system is going to boot you off. Again, this is for security. This is for your safety and your privacy. So if you use webmail and you're on a trusted computer and you want to leave it up and running and want it to stay up, make sure you choose that private computer option. That will make sure that the session stays alive. You don't have to re-authenticate again so quickly, and it will loosen up some of the rules. But again, I wanted to give you that option and make sure that you have the choice to choose whether you were in a public computer where you get maximum protection, or a private computer where you control that computer and you can be a little bit looser on some of the security there. So be looking for that. That's going to be coming online tomorrow, and let us know if there's any issues. And finally, Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We are in Cybersecurity Awareness Month, October, and DataCorps is participating by posting tips on LinkedIn and Twitter. So if you follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter, make sure you check out our tips and share them with your employees. Feel free to copy them and send them out via email. But make sure you check out those tips. They're great, great tips. And I think we're going to still be rotating them throughout the following months. So check them out anyway. Again, thank you very much. I very much appreciate you. You're a blessing to me and my family and to our team. And have a blessed weekend. We'll see you soon.